Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on this show, and I want to do a full Week 13 recap for college football, and also Week 12 of the NFL from Sunday. Obviously, there's Monday Night Football tonight, but I'm doing the individual recap for that, so I want to do Week 13 college football. There's a lot of upsets that I want to get into, talk about some NFL from yesterday, so just get right into it here. So, SMU beat Virginia 33-7. They clinch a spot in the ACC championship game. Their first year in the ACC, 10-1, and they're going to be in the conference championship. And they have a chance to make the playoffs, man. This SMU team's special. Their defense is really good. Got a really good offense led by Kevin Jennings, their quarterback. They got a lot of talent in that offense, but that defense is really good as well. Really good pass rush. They got like 6 or 7 sacks last week. This team is special, and I think they can make the playoffs. All they gotta do is win the ACC, and I think they're the best team in the ACC. I know Miami is ranked above them, but I think they could beat Miami head-to-head. So, SMU's in the ACC championship. They'll probably play Miami, and I think they'll beat them. Miami, they beat Wake Forest 42-14. It took until the fourth quarter to pull away from them. I mean, their defense finally looked good, but I mean, Wake Forest offense really isn't that good, and their defense isn't good. It took Miami till the fourth quarter to finally pull away with the game. Still not sold on Miami being a serious playoff contender. Florida, Ole Miss, man. Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin, old buddy Lane Kiffin. His team falls to Florida in the swamp, and Florida clinches bowl eligibility. Man. Jackson Dart threw 2 interceptions this game. Those 2 interceptions in the fourth quarter. He threw one that was dropped, and he followed it up with an interception right after that. I don't think Ole Miss can make the playoffs, man. Like, you lose to an unranked Florida team. Like, I know they're a bowl team now, but you can't suffer these type of losses. And the SEC media was telling us the whole week, basically trashing Indiana. And like I said on my recap, I'll say it now. I don't know if Indiana will get in with their strength of schedule. But it's kind of funny how the SEC media and the SEC fans were talking. And then, like, Ole Miss, Auburn lose, and upsets in Alabama, which we'll get into. I just find it funny. But yeah, Florida played a good game. Obviously, DJ Lagway's back. They ran the football well with Montrell Johnson. Man, they're going to have a good running game next year with Jaden Ball, because he's played solid this year. DJ Lagway's going to be their featured quarterback. He didn't have as many yards as Jackson Dart, but they only threw the football 17 times. They ran the football a lot. And Ole Miss didn't really have success running the football, but they didn't. Man, I guess they did throwing until the fourth quarter. But yeah, this kind of did feel like a trap game for Ole Miss playing in the swamp, and Florida playing for bowl eligibility. Illinois beat Rutgers 38-31. Man, that was a crazy ending. Illinois kicks a 58-yard field goal, but they called timeout before he kicks it. He missed the field goal, but a timeout was called before that. They instead they go for the 4th and 13, throw it, and they go for a touchdown to beat Rutgers. Obviously, we talked about Indiana, Ohio State in my recap over the weekend. Georgia beat UMass 59-21. It took until the second half to finally pull away. They did struggle with them. I say struggle, but I don't know if they really struggled that hard. Like, their defense wasn't that great. Their defense has to play better, because they gave up a lot of rushing yards in that game. They gave up 226 rushing yards, so their defense wasn't that great. So they gave up 351 total yards, but their offense was really good. But I mean, UMass has one of the worst defenses in college. I wouldn't say, I don't know what to make of that. Their defense has to play better, though. Like, you can't give up 30-something yards against the UMass team. Tennessee beat UTEP 56-0. Blew them out after the first quarter. Penn State escaped Minnesota 26-25. Penn State's not going to go far in the playoffs either, man. Like, I'm not sold on teams like Miami, Miami, Penn State, because Penn State, I get Minnesota's not a bad team, but they should have lost this game. So I'm not sold Penn State going far in the playoffs, man. If you're struggling with Minnesota, I don't see them going far in the playoffs. Arizona State beat BYU. We've done that recap over the weekend. Kansas beat Colorado 37-21, upset them. Kansas is playing really well lately. They started like 1-6. I know they had a lot of like one-score games they didn't come away with, but they're playing better lately. Devin Neal had 207 yards and 3 touchdowns in that game. Colorado just couldn't tackle. Their offense wasn't like that bad. Sanders 23-29, 266, 3 touchdowns. Travis Hunter had 2 touchdowns. But their defense was just bad in that game, giving 520 total yards. It's like they just couldn't stop the run. Like even Jalen Daniels had 72 yards, and Morrison had 47 yards. So they just struggled to stop the run. And Devin Neal also had 1 receiving touchdown. Colorado played really well, but their defense just, they didn't have it that game. Like their defense had been playing at least good, like good enough. Just that game, they just fell apart. I forgot to mention UNLV beat San Jose State, pulled away in the second half. If anybody cares about that. But yeah, Kansas, they're 1 win away from getting bowl eligibility. Clemson beat the Citadel 51-14. We're playing Citadel. I say we're like I'm a Clemson fan. I don't mean I'm not a Clemson fan, but if you're a Clemson fan, you're like, we're playing the Citadel in week 13. Texas, yeah, they beat my Kentucky Wildcats 31-14. Yeah, who cares? South Carolina beat Wofford 56-12. They're playing fucking Wofford. Missouri beat Mississippi State 39-20. Missouri, at least they'll be maybe in the top 25 the rest of the year, but they ain't gonna make no damn playoffs. And I hate their coach. He's like, well, I'll run up the fucking score. It's Mississippi State. Calm down, coach. Notre Dame beat Army 49-14. They blew them out as I predicted. They would destroy them. And it was really because of the running game. They ran for 273 total yards. They threw 2 touchdowns. But it was mostly the running game that killed Army. Not surprised. When you're a team that runs the football a lot, you're not going to have much success. And their defense, yeah, it wasn't good. Boise State beat Wyoming 17-13. Escaped that one. GT had 169 yards, 8.9 a carry, and 1 touchdown. They really struggled against a bad Wyoming team. Not an impressive performance, but a win's a win, a 1 is a 1, and a loss is a loss. Iowa State beat Utah 31-28. Auburn beat Texas A&M 43-41 in 4 overtimes, excuse me. Texas A&M comes up short. They fall to number 20 in the rankings. Their defense struggled, man. Like, Jarquez Hunter really destroyed their defense. 130 yards, 3 touchdowns. Peyton Thorne had 2 touchdowns and 301 yards. Like, they struggled, man. Marcel Reed had 3 touchdowns, 1 reception, 297 yards. Daniels had 90 yards rushing and a touchdown. Reed 66 yards rushing. And Texas A&M actually come back from 21 down in this game to force overtime. But Auburn got their 2-pointer in the 4th overtime. Texas A&M didn't. Drop pass and they lost. And then Oklahoma beats Alabama 24-3. Just embarrassing loss for Alabama. They shouldn't get in the playoffs. You have 3 losses. They've lost to 2 unranked teams. I know they're bowl eligibility teams, but those are bad losses. Milroe was terrible. He had 3 interceptions. They couldn't stop the run. They gave up 257 total rushing yards. 131 to Jackson Arnold. Xavier Robinson 107 with 2 touchdowns. This Alabama team just isn't a playoff team. They just don't have that talented quarterback like they've had in past years with Tua Tagovailoa, Bryce Young, Mac Jones, that were good. And they just don't have those elite receivers either like they had. And their defense just isn't that good either, so yeah, tough luck. So from week 12 from the NFL, the Browns beat the Steelers Thursday night. I don't think I recapped that game. No, I don't think I did recap that. I don't think I did recap that game in week 12. But yeah, it was a good. It was a fun game. The snow game, and the Browns upset the Steelers, which was fun. Nick Chubb had 2 touchdowns in that game. Jerry Jeudy made big plays. Russell Wilson didn't play bad that game. They just really struggled to run the football, especially Najee Harris. Jalen Warren wasn't that bad. He was good. Averaged 4 yards a carry and had a touchdown. Russell Wilson had a good game. It's just their defense couldn't get a stop on that last drive. So now we get to the Sunday action. Titans beat the Texans 32-27. Will Levis outplayed C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud, man, poor quarterback play again from C.J. Stroud. 20 of 33, 247, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. They struggled to run the football as well. Mixon, 22 yards on 14 carries, 1.6 yards per carry. Collins, 92 yards and a touchdown. Tank Dell, 72 yards. Outside of that, really nothing else besides Cade Stover getting a touchdown. And Will Levis outplayed him. I mean, yeah, he had that pick 6, but other than that, he played good. 18 of 24, 278, 2 touchdowns. Pollard, he was good. I wish he was a Dallas Cowboy still. He had 119 yards and a touchdown. Okonkwo had a 70-yard touchdown. Boyd had 6 catches, 55 yards. Calvin Ridley, 5 catches, 93 yards for Ridley. Nick Westbrook Ikhine, 48 yards and a touchdown. It's just simple. Poor quarterback play, bad offensive line play from the Texans. Lost him this game. Bobby Slowick, I don't think he's going to be a candidate for head coaching job, man. His offense has took a step back this year. He should have took that head coaching opportunity in this past offseason when he probably would have had it. The Vikings beat the Bears. The Bears come back in the fourth quarter, outscored them 17-3, but a disaster class in overtime, and the Vikings win, proved a 9-2. Sam Darnold had 330 yards and 2 touchdowns. Great game from him, and Aaron Jones well over 100 yards and a touchdown. Great game from Jordan Addison, 162 yards and touchdown. Hawkinson, 114 yards. Jefferson only had 2 for 27, but they still won because Jordan Addison had a big game. Caleb Williams had 2 touchdowns, 340 yards. They just struggled to run the football, and Caleb Williams really had to do it all. But he had a really good game, but they lose another close one. But this young team's learning maybe in these close games. Chiefs beat the Panthers 30-27. They hang on to get a late field goal. Bryce Young was really good, 263 yards and a touchdown. Bryce Young's been really impressive in this run. Run he's been on these last few games. He's been playing way better lately. But they got a touchdown, 2-point to tie it. But Mahomes gets like a 30-yard run. They get a field goal and win it. Mahomes was good, 27-37, 269 yards, 3 touchdowns. Noah Gray, 66 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kelsey, 62 yards. Worthy, 46 yards. Hopkins had a touchdown. Noah Gray's been really good these last 2 games. I think he's got, 3 or 4 touchdowns. And the Dolphins beat the Patriots 34-15. Really had that big second quarter with Tua Tagovailoa, 317 and 4 touchdowns. So the Dolphins can get back into contention low-key. Buccaneers, they beat the Giants 30-7. There's not really much to say about that. Giants suck. Lions beat the Colts 24-6. They have a really good offense, man. And Anthony Richardson back to looking like trash. 11-28, 172. Goff had a good game. 269 yards, 26-36. 3 total rushing touchdowns from Gibbs and Montgomery. Their defense is good, man. So improved from last year. They're the team to beat in the NFC. Broncos beat the Raiders 29-19. Another great game from Bo Nix. He had 2 touchdowns passing. He's going to be Rookie of the Year. Broncos are 7-5. Seahawks beat the Cardinals 16-6 for first place. Seahawks defense was really good, and Geno Smith made some good plays to put the game away in that last drive. Eagles beat the Rams 37-20. For that, the Packers beat the 49ers 3-10. Did the recap last night. Eagles beat the Rams 37-20. Saquon Barkley might win MVP, man. 26 runs, 255, 9.8 carry, 2 touchdowns, had also 4 catches, 47 yards. Nearly averaged 10 a carry and 2 touchdowns. MVP him. Like, this Rams defense has got worse. The offense wasn't really a problem. Like, it was just really the defense. Because they had the lead after the first quarter, but then they got 10 in the second quarter, 14 in the third quarter, 10 in the fourth quarter. Like, just second, third, and fourth quarters, their defense got worse, and they improved to 9-2. Rams to 5-6. But I believe that's all the college football and NFL I have to talk about to recap. What is happening? I'll do the Monday Night Football game tonight. Chargers and Ravens should be a fun one. So I'll be back here later on tonight. Peace.